Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of A Spot of Hope. Bakat Amal. Tonight we've got some amazing guests. We've got Khodr Darwish and Amy Ayoub from the Iverson's Bakery, and they are the owners of Iverson Bakery in Dearborn. Welcome, guys. Thank you for coming.
Welcome. Thank you.
They've got such an amazing story, and as I always repeat myself every single week, if it wasn't for WhatsApp Media Network, we will not be able to take this platform as our major engine to shed the light on such positive and motivational stories to the community in Dearborn, Dearborn Heights, and even abroad. Big thanks to WhatsApp Media Network. Big thanks to all the sponsors of WhatsApp Media Network, especially also Sling Arabic TV. If you want to get a membership, free membership for a whole week, all you got to do is to get in touch with the WhatsApp Media Network staff. Also, big shout out to our Spot of Hope sponsors. We've got Tahamas, we've got Princess Bakery, we've got Mangoes Dearborn, we've got Ali Sharara, Century 21, and we've got Limo Express, Marwan Faraj as well. So thank you all so much for your support. Also to our audience, thank you so very much for each and every single comment throughout the past 2 months. Each like, each share, make sure that you share the videos so we can get our message to as much as people as we can. And as I always say, also, if you have any ideas, any concerns, any questions, any comments, please make sure that you place them in the comment box and we will pick them up for sure. So guys, ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming,
Thank
Patty.
you.
Thank you for coming, Amy. You guys, each one of you guys, I did say that you guys are the owners, the current owners of the Iverson. Iverson is a very historical bakery. It's awesome. I love it myself. It's great. But funny thing that how you guys both met, and you guys did not have to do anything with baking or food or cooking at the very beginning. But life, I think, did draw a great path for you guys to meet, and we will listen to your stories. But first, we're gonna love to know who is Amy Ayoub, who is Khodr Darwish, or Darwish, sorry, and we want to know, like your childhood, your background, and so forth. So who want to start?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. You're younger.
No.
All right, let's go, Patty.
Oh, well, I grew up in Dearborn. Been here my whole life. Went through all the schools. My parents, my great-great-grandfather actually came to this country years ago, and my grandfather was here and got married, brought my grandmother from Lebanon, and had his children.
Nice.
He took them back home, so they were raised. My mom was raised here and was raised in Lebanon, so she had the best of both cultures, and she instilled that in our childhood. So we were brought up with all of the Middle Eastern cultures, and I was, an American born, so I had both cultures here, and I loved it. I loved growing up in that, in that atmosphere, and I loved growing up in Dearborn because everyone around me was still the same way. So it was very positive. Education was huge in my family. So there was no option. My dad, said we all had to go to school, we all had to get a degree. And that's what I did, I went to school, I got my degree in teaching, and I did that for a few years. I went and got my master's in early childhood. I opened up one of Dearborn's biggest childcare centers about 12 years ago. And it's still open now, I'm not there anymore. I actually moved on and I became a consultant, and I did that 4 years working with the state, and I loved it. So that was a big chunk of my work was working with children and families, and I loved it. Long story short, I got diagnosed with cancer about 3 years ago, and it kind of just changed my life. It's like God said, be still, and I had to, and I ended up realizing how much I love food.
Awesome.
It was God family food in my home. So I did go back to school, got my culinary degree, and I met up with this beautiful lady, and we had similar passions. We had different roads, but our passions were still the same. And
How many times do you fight a day?
we don't fight.
We don't
You
fight.
don't?
No.
Never. I don't
Come
think we ever
on, don't
have.
tell me you never
We
threw
have
a
a
cookie
great,
at her.
we're the yin and yang.
Never.
We get along great. We
No,
we
never.
have,
So you guys never threw cookies at each other?
No, only
Uh,
to catch and bite. That's it.
that's about
No,
it.
Nice.
Never.
So
That's
that's
amazing.
where our team started, from our passions, and it's been a blessing.
Yes, that's amazing. We're gonna also, you gave us a great idea about everything. We're gonna go into that. That takes a lot of dedication, a lot of motivation, a lot of strength to overcome. Let me tell you this, at least cancer. I mean, that term, that word does scare a lot of people, and it is hindering just by thinking about it. So how come then, if you were diagnosed with it and you did beat cancer, and that's by itself. So we're gonna go back to that, but let's switch over to Amy Ayoub. That's a very artistic name. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's Ahmed, actually.
Yeah, Ahmed. Well, here we
So
go.
I was not born here. I was born in Lebanon.
Okay.
My parents came over about a year or so before we came over. Kind of got settled in. There are 8 of us. And then we came over, my sisters and I. And we settled on the south end of Dearborn like everyone else.
Yeah.
And you know, it was in the 70s. It was a different life then. It was, you know,
Way
we
more
were
simpler.
raised differently. We
Yes.
were raised differently. There was no social media. We moved out of the South End in about 1976, 77, moved over to the East End. So we were a product of Salina School, Laurie School, Fortson School, Dearborn Public Schools. We had a good childhood, great parents. My father passed away 17 years ago
God bless his soul.
of cancer, and it's been, my mom is still alive. I do have 7 siblings. We're all very, very, very close. We've never threw cookies at each other, I promise you.
But football, I'm pretty sure.
Football, yes. Football is huge. And then I got married in '01. I moved to California. I was on a path of moving back and forth for close to 13 years of moving to California, moving back, moving back. I finally settled here very end of 2012, 2013, and we've been here ever since, my children and I. And here we are.
Welcome to Michigan.
What is it?
Welcome to Michigan.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back. Yes.
That's awesome. So, Patty, let me ask you this question. What made you choose teaching at the very beginning of your career?
You know, I'm the oldest of 33 grandkids.
33 grandkids?
Yes, I'm the oldest.
God bless. That's awesome.
And I
Can you imagine,
always had the
Thanksgiving
role
dinners?
of, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we get together, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. God bless
Because
your
we all
family.
love to cook.
That's awesome.
So I always took that role of the teacher or, you know, being the caretaker for everyone. So it came very natural to choose a career that worked with kids and families, and I loved it.
Where did you teach? Did you teach?
I used to
like
teach
students
at-
like K through 12, or
I did. I was elementary. I was at Salina School.
There we go.
I taught at a couple private schools, and I ended up changing and going into early childhood.
Okay, that's where you get your
So,
master's.
I got my
from
master's.
Which university?
University of Michigan.
There we go. Go Blue.
Yep, it was a go blue. I did some work with the University of Michigan Child Care Center, and that's kind of what got me to open up my first center, is building a center in East Dearborn for our children in the community, a high quality center that gave the kids the opportunity to grow and learn and be successful. And we didn't have that in East Dearborn. I mean, it's east of Greenfield, you don't see any corporate daycares. And it
So you
was
want to
it
change
was
that.
a, it was a one of my goals to open a big center in Dearborn.
Okay.
And we found a great center, and it's still up and going. It's a great center, and it's been successful. You know, the children, I still see the kids from that come into the bakery now,
Yeah.
and it's
Nice.
crazy. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
Amy,
Yeah.
I used to
I
change
used
their
to
diaper.
diapers. I hear that every day. I used to change your diapers.
You
yeah.
know, but these kids and the families, like, you give children a foundation, a good foundation, it won't break.
Yes,
It
it's
won't
a
break.
lasting lesson.
It is. So I take honor in being part of those families' lives, and you know, I'm honored to have had the opportunity to do that for the community.
For how long you did that? For a few years?
About 8 years.
8 years in that center.
8 years.
So day in, day out.
Day in, day out. I would sleep in that office on the cot sometime, but I was there from morning when parents came in, and I was there until they picked up their kids.
Cool. And then after that, you went to University of Michigan. You pursued your master's.
I had my master's at the time.
Okay.
I ended up leaving the center. I ended up getting a divorce. I got divorced, which is, it is what it is. I got divorced, I walked away, and I ended up getting a job working with the state as a consultant.
With the Department of Ed?
I worked with the early childhood department. And I loved it. I was working with families. It was more on a personal level, working closer with families and children and the teachers and training on best practices, and it was still very rewarding.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to come back to you, Patty, and then let's go back to Amy. So Amy, in 2001, you moved to California. What was the intention? Was it a business venture?
No,
was
I got married. I moved to California.
Okay, so your husband was living in
Yes,
California?
yes, he's
Okay.
from there.
Okay.
2001 was, I got married in June of 2001, and of course, shortly after 9/11 happened. And there's so many, it's kind of a buildup of to why I came back, but so we did settle there, and we were in a little town called Aliso Viejo. It was beautiful, very lonely though. I had no children at the time, but after I had my first son in 2002, I lost my father in 2002, had my son a few months after I had lost my dad. I loved it there. It was very beautiful, but it was just it was very hard to get used to, especially being that 9/11 had just happened. That played a huge role in my coming back. I remember when it did happen, and my husband, we are divorced now, but at the time he had so many friends, and they were Jewish, they were Muslim, they were Christian, and I remember the morning of everybody gathering in my home. There was about 20 people, and the awkwardness of the way that I was treated that morning.
Oh, sorry about that.
Though they were in our home, was just, it just cut me. Like, wow, they really don't care much for us. This is all, it was tough. It was very tough. Moving forward, it was very tough.
Can you imagine?
And so not too long after, about a year later, I did have my son, and I remember when my father passed, I was on bed rest. I was put on bed rest because I had almost lost my first, and I was told that I could not move, I couldn't do anything. They wanted to keep me in the hospital. I said, no, I really need to go. My father is dying, and he ended up passing a week later, and I remember wanting to come to the funeral, and I was told, no, you cannot go to the funeral. You're on bed rest. But my dad was not to be buried here. He was going to Syria. Syria was his country. And I said, I'm never going to see my dad again. Let me just go. The doctor says, okay. And I remember flying into San Francisco airport, and the guard making me lift my shirt to see that I was pregnant, and my shoes needed to come off, and I was like, are you kidding me? This is the way that you're treating a woman who has a child, that is carrying a child. And it just said, it doesn't matter, that it was very, very unfortunate. It was they were trying times for us. I did have my first. We did live in California, but it changed so much being over there. I always say that there is nowhere in the world that you would rather be than Dearborn, Michigan at the time 9/11 happened, because the community is so close-knit, they're so tight, and you weren't going to be treated any differently.
Sure.
I knew I always wanted to move back. I did end up moving back a couple years later, and from there we settled here.
Sure.
And
you moved on.
I moved on.
I'm going to come back.
I did move back. I did move back again.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Well, we settled here until '06.
Okay. And then you moved there.
I'd gotten ill. Yes, I had a thymoma, which is something to do with the heart. It got tough because my husband was living there, and it was a back and forth. I couldn't do it. Now I had 3 kids at the time. I said, let me move back. We did move back, and things were better then. The kids spent most of their elementary and childhood there, and we liked it. But again, there was always that feeling of there's no sense of community.
Yes.
There's no family here. There were never those
Alone.
big Thanksgiving dinners, the Eid parties. We were alone. We spent a lot of time alone, and it was lonely. شو بيقولوا ده الدنيا جنب الناس ما بتنداس right ما بتنداس. So that's exactly how it was for us. We did end up coming back, like I said, the end of 2012, and here we are.
Here we are. Well,
Here we are.
We're going to come back to you guys, but first I just wanted to highlight and to thank all the audience that are watching us. Thank you for sharing, liking, and making your comments. Keep it coming, guys. We're going to pick it up during the break at 8 o'clock. I also want to thank What's Up Network, all the sponsors, Sling Arabic TV, over 130 Arabic channels, BM Sports. If you want to get a free membership for a whole week, all you got to do is to get in touch with one of the What's Up Network staff. And then also big shout out to our A Spot of Hope sponsor. We've got Lamo Express, Marwan Faraj, Ali Sharara from Central 31, real estate agent, Tahamas. We've got also Ali Saad from the Princess Bakery, and of course Mango's Dearborn. Thank you all for your support. We're going to come back to you guys. So Patty, if you can, please, not trying to open up an old wound, but how did you find out about your cancer? Because again, people get scared of this term.
Oh yeah, it's the ugly C word that no one wants to hear. And
if you don't mind sharing, of course.
No, I don't mind. I wrote and talked about this, and I can't stress the importance of everyone trusting their body and knowing when something doesn't feel right. And that's what happened. I felt something wasn't right, and I went to a new doctor, and the doctor wrote it off as depression. And I was like, I swear I'm not depressed. I was happy driving my Mustang. I had a great job. I had a new house. I was like, I have no problem. And she gave me, you know, antidepressants. And I'm like, I'm not depressed. And so I went on it for 1 month. I said, maybe I am. I don't know. But I knew I wasn't. So I did it. And I went back to her. And she's like, I'm like, I still feel the same. Like, I'm exhausted. Like, beyond the normal.
So
beyond that. Yeah. And I was having shortness of breath because my cancer was actually close to my heart. So she gave me a stronger dose of antidepressants, and I threw it in the garbage. I waited about a month, and I just was not feeling well. I ended up taking myself to the hospital, and this was December 3rd. I remember driving myself at 11 o'clock at night, and
December 3rd of
2017.
Okay.
16. I'm sorry, 2016.
So just little
Yep.
less than 3 years ago.
Yep.
Oh,
And the doctor just did a normal X-ray.
okay.
And she came in, she sat next to me, and she held my hand, and she's like, I don't know what to tell you, like, but, you know, you need to go to your doctor tomorrow. And I said, why? And she's like, there's a huge mass. What the picture showed, it looked like it was on my lung. And I was like, what do you mean? There's a mass. I'm like, there's something wrong. There's just something wrong with your machine. There's no way. Why would I have a mass? So I ended up, it shattered me. Like, that night shattered me, because right away I said, I'm dying. Like, we're all dying, you know, but I'm really now dying. And so I did. I was proactive. I went to the hospitals. I went to three different hospitals. I got my scans done, my biopsies done, and it was, you know, it was treated. I sat 8 months doing chemo. I had, you know, many rounds of chemo.
Sorry, which stage
I was almost stage 3. So it was, I
kinda
caught
escalated.
it. Yep, I caught it at a good time, and I caught it by accident. You know, that's why I tell everyone, trust your body. Trust your body.
So 8 months of chemo.
8 months of chemo.
And throughout the 8 months, how do you feel about it? I mean, were you?
It was probably the hardest time in my life. I had to stop working, which was very hard because I don't know. I got used to getting up and going to work, and the doctors were like, you absolutely cannot go to work, especially with the immune system being compromised. You have to be, especially working with kids, even wearing a mask isn't enough. So after many appointments with the doctors, and they convinced me that I can't work, my parents said, you just can't work. So I sat home, and it kind of got depressed. I was depressed, you know, because for 2-3 months I was in a lot of pain. just going back and forth to chemo, and I wasn't able to take care of my kids. I wasn't able to cook. I wasn't able to clean. I wasn't able to do anything.
So you were not yourself.
I was not
Patty
myself.
that used to be independent,
Nope.
working,
No.
everything, responsible to everything.
No. I lost hope. I lost hope of life. I lost hope of...
Was it during the entire 8 months or the first couple of months?
I'm going
or-
to say about... Well, actually, like, my mom moved in with me,
Okay.
and, you know, she cooked, and I was on a really strict diet with food.
Mm.
So I was eating the same things every day, and it got even more depressing. So I just flipped out one day, and I said, you know, I started looking at my recipes, and I said, you know, I'm going to start making things. And I wouldn't get up until like 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, I
Yes.
was so tired. And my dad would come, my mom would go to work, my dad would come and sit on the couch and wait for me to wake up. And I can hear him, as I come down the stairs, I can hear him say, oh, fit it, Pat, you know, because he was just waiting for me. And so, I mean, I'd go sit with him, and I don't know, like, you just lose hope sometimes. But, you know, I started, you know, telling my dad, you know, Bob, go get me some of these ingredients. I want to make this recipe. It's within my diet. I can create it. And so he'd go get it for me, and then I just get up, and in the morning I found myself getting up early and like cutting my vegetables, prepping my food. It would take me all day to make one dish. But my dad would come and see me awake, and he would sit with me and cut the vegetables up with me, and then I'd go rest, and then I'd go cook. It just made me forget.
So you tried to live a normal life, basically. You tried to
tried.
normalize it. We're going to come back, Patty, but Amy.
Yes.
So you came back in
2012.
2012.
Yes.
So what did you do over here? So how did you say, so was it the divorce that made you to make this permanent decision beside being alone over there in California? And
No,
So,
because I didn't get a divorce until a couple years after that. It was more so of just knowing that
lifestyle over there.
it was more than a
I see.
lifestyle, knowing that we needed to go.
Okay.
Knowing that I eventually was going to leave, and I remember somebody telling me, listen, if you're going to go, do it while your kids, before they hit high school, because it's going to be so much harder for them to adjust and to assimilate and to feel that they're a part of,
Yes.
you know, where you're going. And I
Yes.
said, so that was one of the decisions, is bringing them over and then moving on into the middle school. But there were many factors that went into me coming back. Family was one of them. We desperately needed to be around
Together,
family.
yes.
We had to be around family. We had absolutely nobody there. So I did come back, lived with my mom for a few months. Now, our intention to come back wasn't to stay. It was just to come back for a year, maybe a couple of years, kind of just, you know, see where...
To take a feel and
get a
see
feel
if you
for
guys
it.
found something good, you would
Right,
stay. If not, you
exactly.
would leave.
So within just a month or 2 months, I found a home. And right away, I knew this is going to be our home. You know, I always say God puts his hands into... When you're ready, God just puts his hands into everything.
Yes.
I was not ready to buy a home. I was in no means in the correct financial situation. I mean, I had nothing at the time, but for some odd reason, this home was mine. And we did end up buying this home. My kids and I moved in, and we did stay. We ended up staying. I told my husband at the time, come move here. And he said, no, I absolutely do not want to live there. He doesn't like it here. And that was kind of the start of, like, you know what, maybe it's time. Then we call it quits. You want to stay over there? We're living over here. And I was pretty much on my own now, doing odd jobs. I remember I had bought a phone store, and that kept us afloat for a couple of years. I ended up losing that. And there were many odd jobs just for us to stay afloat, to stay...
To survive.
To survive. We were surviving. That's until we bought the bakery a year ago. I think that's all I was doing, surviving.
That was a turning point.
We were surviving.
But before then,
Yes.
you pretty much worked at a phone store. And
No, I didn't work there. I owned it.
You owned it.
We did end up closing that down.
Okay.
I worked many other odd jobs. I never baked. I'm not the cook or the baker.
No.
I cooked a little bit, but I never, ever, ever baked. There was one year we were staying with my mom.
No wonder you have the best cookies.
Well, thank you. You'd think I've been doing it all my life,
That's
right?
what I thought.
Thank you.
I'm not even joking right now, guys. I mean, you know,
They are amazing.
I think it was,
seriously.
you know, I'm always up for a challenge, and I always
Sure.
say, if you're going to do something, you better make sure that you're doing the best darn way.
Yes.
And I remember baking a cookie in my mom's
billion
basement.
times.
We were staying with my mom, and I remember the kids saying, "Oh, it's okay," and I was like, "Well, it can't just be okay. It's got to be better."
It'll be excellent.
And then I said, "Okay, let's try again tomorrow." And I literally kept trying and trying. And my daughter's like, "Why are you doing this?" I said, "Because I want to bake the best darn cookie." And she's like, "For what,
And
Mom?"
especially chocolate chip cookies.
Especially chocolate chip
Yeah.
cookies. And I remember one day just nailing this recipe. And it wasn't a recipe that I pulled off the Nestle Toll House package. It was mine. It was me tweaking. It was
Yeah.
me, you know,
Your own unique touches.
omitting and my own
Yes.
touches. And my nephew, who's a culinary pastry chef from the French Culinary School of Arts in New York, and this was such a compliment. He says to me one day, he had tried them, and he says, "Did you bake these?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "These are the best cookies I've ever had in my life." And this was such a compliment.
They are
coming from
awesome,
him.
by the way.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah, they are
And he
awesome.
says, "You know, Khodr, you really got to put these out." And I said, I can't do that. He's like, "No, like everybody does this whole Instagram." I didn't even know what Instagram was at the time. Everybody has Instagram pages, and you can post on there and make a page. And I was like, "Okay." And I remember calling it, I don't remember the name of it was Lush or something, some odd name. And people telling me, "What the heck kind of cookie name is that?" And I always used to call my daughter my little California girl. So I was like, "Why don't I just call it the California Cookie Company?" And everyone's like,
So that's where California
it.
come from.
Yes, that's it.
I
That's the
I was
name.
asking I was asking myself, like, why was it, you know, called California Cookie Company? I mean, because I assumed that you were, you know, born, or at least you came here, you know, when you were so young, and then you stayed here, like where California came from. But now I understand.
Yes, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of people, it's funny because a lot of people will come to the bakery and they'll say, "So is this company, like, do they ship to you guys?" Or they're like, "No,
Yeah, exactly.
it's
Nope, we
us.
make it all day
We
long."
make them in the
Exactly,
back." And they're like,
exactly.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where that came from. And I posted, you know, on Instagram and Facebook, and like I had an order. I remember my first order, and I was so nervous, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, are they overbaked? Are they underbaked?"
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
I'll never forget that first order. And that day on, it was just nonstop. It was just nonstop. Like I had an order. I can say that I had cookie orders every single day for a year straight.
Wow.
There wasn't a day that I did not have a cookie order. I would wake up in the morning and be like, "Oh my gosh, you know, we're still surviving here."
What time?
But
What time used to wake up?
what time did I wake up at 6
5?
a.m. in the morning? 6 a.m. every morning, and that oven would be on.
Yeah,
And
the
I
oven on.
told you that. Yeah,
That's my
I
point,
would
yeah.
wake up at 6 a.m. every morning, and the oven would be
That's
on,
passion.
and it wouldn't go on
That's
off
passion.
until about
So
10.
it's,
I know.
it's really passion. It's not only just to make the money, which is okay. I mean, it's
Right.
okay. I mean, you know, to do something that you enjoy at the meantime that you're
Right.
making a living off, but also that passion. I mean, to start at 6 a.m.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you were able to start like at 8, 9, 10 a.m.
No.
You know, but that's really awesome. And then you spend the whole day pretty much baking and
All day long.
all day long, and you know, night comes and you go to bed and you
No,
wake
I don't
up.
think we went to bed.
No?
My kids would be like, "It's midnight." It's, you know, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember people used to come and pick up orders at 10, 11. There were times I would get text messages at 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, "You guys, you know, I need to sleep here." I would have to start turning my phone off at 10 o'clock at night.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really awesome. Well, guys, before we continue with you guys, before we also go to the commercial break, just let me again thank all the audience out there. We got a great feedback about you guys, about Iverson, and the quality work that you guys do. Not only the quality work, also, guys, but also the very nice and warm reception that you guys treat people, welcome people with. I can attest to that myself. It's very welcoming. When I walk in, I hear people singing from behind the counter. You know, so singing welcome and welcome, good morning, how's it going? So it's really a great and very hospitable staff, you guys, and amazing. Also, thanks to all the audience out there. Please keep sharing and liking and making comments on the video. Also, thanks to WhatsApp Media Network sponsors, to Sling Arabic TV, over 130 Arabic channels, BM Sports. To get a free membership for a whole week, all you gotta do is to get in touch with the WhatsApp Media Network staff. Also, big shout out to our A Spot of Hope sponsors, Mango's Dearborn, Tahamas, Lemo Express, Ali Sharara, Sunshine 21, Princess Bakery, and did I forget anybody else? I don't think I did.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. So, but let me repeat that just in case. We got Lemo Express, Tahamas, Princess Bakery, Mangoes, and Ali Sharara. And now, guys, we're gonna go to a break, and we'll come back. Welcome back, guys, to this amazing story, to these amazing guests. And now we're going to talk real talk.
Let's do it.
So, the first half of the show was pretty much about your backgrounds, about your challenges. Patty, you're a cancer survivor. Also, you were in the teaching and consulting. All of a sudden, you became a cook. And then Amy moved like 2,000 times to California and back to Dearborn. And then you worked in 1 billion different industries. And all of a sudden, you woke up 6 a.m. to be the best cookie baker.
Thank you.
Of course. And now you guys met. So I can say that Patty's kind of madness was put on on cooking, not booking, on cooking.
And cooking.
And then same thing with Amy. After Amy, you thought that pretty much you not lost faith, but nothing worked out with you very well as you wanted, and you just said, you know what? Let me give this one last shot. If not, I'm gonna go back to California.
Yeah, I would have went back. I think I would have went back again. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, though, that's not how we met. We
I'm
met.
just joking, by the way.
You want to know
Yeah.
how we met?
Sure.
We met on her wedding day.
Okay.
Yep.
Long time
We
ago.
met, on her wedding day. One of my best friends was getting married the same day, right? It was in
Yeah.
August in like '97. We were getting our makeup done. It was Hella, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
At Creative Image.
Nice.
And we met. And
Yeah.
we did see each other again.
Okay.
So one of the many times
Did you
that
talk
I,
though? Like, let's
We
say
did.
the
How-
first
how-
meeting
oh my gosh,
was
yes.
97,
Yes,
but then
yes.
what was
She
like a
was-
second meeting though? I mean, was it?
So, well, we spoke.
Were you guys
briefly.
close though? I mean, did you
Yeah.
guys even envision the fact that you guys
Never.
gonna be
No.
No,
together
never,
this
never.
close?
No.
Okay.
So the second time we met, it was on one of my many moves back.
Okay.
I think we met at the CDC again, at the
Probably
Child
with the
Development
kids,
Center
yeah.
at the University of Michigan.
Okay.
Both of our kids were there. And I remember Patty used to be so passionate about opening the daycare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember? And you'd
Oh,
say,
yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm going to open
You
the
gave me-
daycare. Yes,
yeah,
she did.
that's
yes.
awesome.
Do you know
Do
when
you remember
we're in
that?
school, like in elementary school, and they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Uh-huh.
I said I wanted to open up a child care center. I didn't even know what a child care center was because we didn't, that didn't exist in our community. But it was in my head
Yes.
to do that at a young age. So it's
I
just
remember
crazy
that.
how,
Yeah. And that's all she
things
spoke about
happen.
at the CDC, right? Was
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did meet. Then again, then I had moved back, of course, and we
Yeah.
lost touch. But I'll tell you, it's an interesting story. When I moved back here, we used to spend a lot of time at Hype athletics.
Yes.
And Ali is
Shout out to Ali and Hype.
Shout
by
out
the
to
way, yes.
Ali
They
and
are-
Hype.
Yeah.
They are
He's-
dear brothers. to
They
us,
are
yeah.
such a good place for your children. Such
Yes.
a good human.
Yes.
Ali is such a caring human. He's such a caring person, and he really does look out for your best interest in your children's best interest.
But please be careful. He's gonna believe that right now.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, so if you're
So
watching
I
it
remember Ali telling me one
and
day-
he'll believe it.
I hope he's watching, Ali. I hope you're watching. So I remember him telling me one day, so, Amy, you're going to stay. What are you going to do? And I said, I am going to stay. I don't know, you know, I remember my youngest son, when we were in California, he'd attended Waldorf, which is a different type of schooling, and I would always talk to Ali about Waldorf, and he's like, well, you know who you need to talk to is you need to talk to this girl, Patty Darwish. And I said, okay, mind you, this was many years ago.
Okay.
And he says, here's her phone number, call her. You two would
Make a
really
great
make
team.
a great team. You guys should do something together, and if you do want to, you have my center here.
All right.
And I was like, okay. So I remember calling her, leaving a message, and never hearing from her.
Uh-oh.
That was what, 3 years
Yeah,
ago? Yeah,
that was
years
during my
ago.
treatment.
Yes.
I wasn't.
So I hadn't known that, but it was something that Ali had envisioned and said you two would make a great team, though it was for something totally different. I remember his exact words: "You two would make a great team. Here is her phone number. Give her a call." And I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
It's okay.
Yeah.
Listen,
like,
God puts
yeah,
many
God,
paths, but there's you will
yes,
always
Yep.
that's the
end
goal
up
it's
where you're
meant.
supposed to
Yeah.
It
be.
was meant for you guys. I mean, as you
Yeah.
Not at the
say,
time. I think
yeah.
everything
Timing.
that's timing is
Timing is
everything.
huge.
So then, how do you guys? Again, I mean, both of you guys, when you found like this might be it, like each one of you guys. So how do you guys meet to be at Iverson's?
So, you want to tell the story, or
No,
you want
you
me
can tell
to?
the story.
So, again, I have to shout out to Ali.
Okay.
Ali comes into play again.
It's all Adi's fault.
Not a superstar.
It was at a time where I was extremely busy. Like I
Okay.
said, there was a year straight when I don't think I took a day off. It was getting very tough at home. I remember not allowing my daughter to be in the kitchen. She couldn't even eat in the kitchen because she had long hair, and I just said, you know, this is how we're making a living. You guys have to abide by these rules.
Yes.
We can't take these chances, and it got so overwhelmingly busy that I stopped enjoying. I was just doing this now. I was selling cookies because I was making a living,
Yes.
and we were making a good living. But I just said I couldn't do it anymore. And I had put it out there and that, look, I need to find a place. Either I go somewhere and use someone's kitchen and bake or whatever it may be. And I remember many people approaching me and saying, you know, do you need an investor? We're willing to invest. And I said, no, you know, if I want an investor, I want a business partner that is going to put in the work, not just the money. I can't go put in all the work. I'm not worried about the money. That will come. And I remember Ali calling me one day and said, you know, Amy, there's a spot on Inkster and Warren. It's an old bakery. Go over there and see if you can rent it or whatever. See if there's equipment. And I remember going there. It was June. It was Ramadan. It was very hot. And it was on a Monday. I went over there and it was closed and there was nothing inside. And I was just it pained me to know that I had to go back home.
Nothing, yes.
And just go back to everything that,
Sure.
you know, the whole routine. Mind you, I was using a broken oven for 2 years at home.
Yeah.
I was baking one tray at a time, but I had known Patty. Her and I had been in contact through, you know, her passion for food, and she's a good person.
Sure.
And I called her one day, and we had been looking at other buildings, and we'd looked at a couple other spots, and I knew that I wanted her to be my business partner. There were other people that we had both, I think we had both been in contact with some of the same people.
Probably.
Yes, you know, to go into business. But I called her and I said, you know what, Pat? Iverson's Bakery is for sale, and I think we should go look at it. And she's like, really? I said, yes. You know what? We're going to do this. Let's go look at it. And it was a Monday, so the bakery's closed every Monday. So I
Sure.
called the bakery that
And by the way,
Tuesday.
shout out to the family that owns
Yes,
Iverson.
they're
They're great
wonderful.
people
The
as
Lesnick,
well.
They
so,
are
Very,
wonderful,
very
yes.
great.
Yeah, they've been in Dearborn for what, 50 years?
Oh, no,
More
they
than
were born
that.
and raised here.
Yeah.
All of them.
No, I mean like the business.
The business has been
business,
here longer than 50.
50. Well, it's 100 years
Yeah.
old, and we'll touch on that. But it's been well over 50 years.
Yes, yes.
So I called Iverson's Tuesday morning, and I said, hi, is the bakery for sale? And it must have been Julie that answered, and she's like, well, I don't know. Here's the owner. And the owner gets on the phone and says, well, who are you? And I said, listen, I'm not interested in buying the bakery. I just need a place to bake. She's like, she laughed, and she goes, can you come in tomorrow? And I said, sure. So I said, Patty, we got to go in. We got to talk to this lady. We went in, and it was just, you know,
So you went in.
we went in and she liked us. There were many other people who were interested in buying the bakery, a lot of other people. But I think with us, it was, we had gone in and told them, look, if we do take over, nobody leaves. Nobody loses their job. Nobody has to go anywhere. No one takes a pay cut, nothing. We all stay here together and work as one team.
Here we go.
And that's what we did. And I think that's why we were chosen to, you know, there, like I said, there were other people that were very much interested in buying the bakery.
That's awesome.
But they
So
did
now,
choose us
Amy and
for that
Patty, you
reason,
guys both are the official owners today of
Yes.
Iverson's.
Yes.
What an
yeah.
incredible honor! I mean,
It is.
to buy something that has been standing for well over 50 years,
99 years.
contributing.
99.
Here we go, 99 years.
99 years.
Contributing to our to the great community of Dearborn and the surrounding areas. That's awesome. So that's how it happened. So you guys went in, both you guys, and started baking.
She was doing her cookies, and
Yeah.
I kind of shadowed Rick.
What do
Rick, I
most-
was his little shadow assistant and everything.
Okay.
And
so basically, you work on pretty much everything.
I work under Rick. Rick is a master baker. When I tell you, he is a legend. He is the
Yes.
best in the
Awesome.
business.
Yes.
He's not about any fast-paced, which is what they teach us in culinary school. You know, but his fast and out. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
his is slow and quality.
Yes.
And it's really a challenge because you want to preserve these timeless recipes.
Yes.
And he's an amazing baker, and like just working under him and learning like the steps and the techniques.
Sure.
It's priceless.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
priceless. It's a gift.
It is a
really
gift,
is a
yeah.
gift. And to have that quality shared, it's beyond, you know, I can't, how fulfilling it is to go to work and be able to work under him and to train under him, because he's phenomenal.
He is phenomenal.
And
Yeah.
then-
He's beyond.
So basically, you shadow Rick, and then who does shadow you, Amy?
Well-
Amy's the cookie lady.
I mean, we have.
Nobody shadows you, huh?
Yeah, somebody needs to start shadowing
yeah.
me. Yeah, we're all getting these shoulder
Super busy.
pains, and it's you know
Yes,
we
it's
go
tough.
in and everyone knows you don't need to tell anybody what to do when we get to work. Everybody goes in and they automatically know where they're at. That's the greatest.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Greatest feeling to walk into work and you don't
It's
have
one
to.
family.
It's one family. We
Yes.
really are a
Yes.
family.
Nice.
And everybody knows exactly what they need to do. And
That's awesome.
if Patty takes her day off, I know exactly what I need to do. And when I take my day off, she knows exactly
There
what
we
she
go.
needs to do.
It's
So
a
I mean,
great
it's a
team.
team.
Great.
Yeah.
It's a
Great.
great team.
I mean, teamwork.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
We have
makes
great,
a
like
big
Rhonda.
difference.
Rhonda Reeves has
Oh,
been there.
yes.
She's been a cake decorator. She's classic in her
Classic.
her decorating skills. She's
Nice.
very delicate in cake decorating, and it's an
It's
art.
an art. It is
So
an art,
exactly.
yeah.
So that's what was my next question. So basically, besides cookies and eclairs and everything, what do you guys do? Also cakes and cannolis and.
Well, Iverson's is known for their cakes. By the way, Iverson's did win Best Cake in Michigan in the year 2018.
Here we go. Congratulations.
From the Food Network channel.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Yes,
And
congrats.
we're known for our wedding cakes, wedding cakes and birthday cakes.
خلاص, my wedding is gonna be from there.
That's it.
Come on in.
We're ready for you.
خلاص, appreciate
You
it.
guys hear that? Is there's any eligible bachelorettes out there, right?
Yeah, right. See? So, anybody want to get
We got a
married,
good
guys?
guy here. Put
They
that
have to
I
go
wanna get
through us
married.
first.
Yes,
we got to make
yeah.
sure we give
Get
you the
through
approval.
Iverson's.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
No, inshallah. Yeah, so that's really great. And then cakes and wedding cakes,
So
especially.
we do,
and,
cakes,
cookies.
cannolis. You know, nothing leaves the bakery if it's not to our liking. We would never put anything out there if we won't eat it, we're not selling it. I mean, we're using top of the line. The
Sure.
quality is above all at our bakery. I mean, we've had people say, "Oh, you know, that's just a little too much for a cookie or this."
Yeah.
You know, and we always say, "Well, you know, we can cheapen it by using, you know,
cheaper
ingredients."
materials, but then it won't be the same
mind you, we
quality.
use the
Yeah.
natural in our cookies.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, we do use natural organic sugar.
Sure.
We do not use white refined sugars. But, you know, we don't like to cheapen our products.
Yeah.
Iverson's for 99 years has never cheapened their products. And us going in, we're keeping that same tradition and we will never, it's always
Sure. And nothing wrong,
quality.
by the way, with if someone, you know, pays a little extra, but
Yeah, it's
at
not-
least they know that, you
Yep.
know, they are getting
quality.
top
Yes.
quality, you know, products that not only that it's safer, but also they're going to enjoy it. I mean,
Right.
whoever if the guest is or your company,
Right.
you know, I mean, at your work or at home,
Yep.
you know for a fact that
You
you,
can
won't be
taste.
disappointed.
You know, in Iverson's cake, even those eclairs that you love so
Yeah,
much,
of course.
the custard is made by hand,
The old-fashioned way.
old-fashioned way. He uses a
Awesome.
babord. You know what a babord is?
Yeah.
Okay, he's got that hooked up to the gas line with a big, huge copper pot, and that's how he makes his custard.
Oh, wow.
So nothing is brought in packages and nothing. The whipped cream is made every morning from the heavy whipping cream, and you know the way it's supposed to
And
be
you guys
made.
run out of it a lot of time in the afternoon. I would get rid of
We
that.
run out, yes.
We
we
do.
do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
We make enough for the
at
day.
times,
Yeah.
We make enough for the day
and
because
we
you
make it
don't
fresh
want
every
them
day.
sitting
Exactly.
overnight. It's,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything is made fresh daily.
Exactly.
You know, if we happen to run out, and then we always tell everybody, put your order in. Don't come in for, you know, 25 cheese rolls. Put your order in. That's another thing too. Those
That's another
cheese
one.
rolls.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ramadan.
yes,
Yeah,
her
I
creation.
enjoyed that. Exactly, exactly. That's great. So now moving forward, you guys, congratulations again. By the way, before we move forward, when is the 100 years anniversary?
It's 2020.
In 2020, we still have to pick a date. Maybe we should pick the August 16th, you said?
Yeah, I think
just-
I think the day that you guys
yeah.
became the official owner, I think that would be
October
that
1st.
That was
works.
October 1st.
October 1st,
That'll be nice.
2018, we became the official owners. That would be nice.
Here we go.
We're working with a young man now, and we're branding. So we're starting this whole new campaign. You know, we're rebranding everything. We're kind of getting everything in order, and we're just gonna. 2020 is coming, and
Yeah.
Here we go.
we're gonna
We're
take
taking it to
yeah,
another level.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
definitely.
So you guys gonna take a cake at a time and a cookie at a time and a cannoli at a
Yep.
time. And
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what you guys are about to do. It's going to be very
It's
interesting.
going to be huge. Yeah.
Awesome. So let me ask you guys too. You know, so as you guys are moving forward and getting all the branding process done, and you guys, you know, obviously you guys are doing great reputation, quality work, hard work. God bless you guys. What is next? Since both of you guys share this vicious passion towards cooking and this aggressive motivation, in a good way, of course. Are you guys? Shall we see you guys opening up like at least like a chance for interns for college students, high schoolers, at
We've
least
had a
summer
few.
students
Yeah.
where
We've
you-
already had we've had
Uh-huh.
a couple interns. Yeah, absolutely.
nice.
Yeah, we've had a couple interns over the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, they
I
do
mean,
come out.
yeah, they come
Let's say in
out.
the future, would it be like let's say one class, maybe like an official?
That's one of my
class?
passions is to do something like a class to
Become certified to
to
teach.
teach certain skills in the kitchen, certain baking skills, and we get that asked all the time.
Yeah.
People want to come in and learn how to make an eclair or
Sure.
learn how to make, you know, decorating a cake or
Yes.
decorating cupcakes, and we get that all the time.
That would be nice.
That is something that we've been talking about. We have a lot of programs that we want to bring into the bakery, not just the bakery. So that's in the future. That's
Awesome.
definitely in the future.
Well, let's hope that becomes a reality in 2020.
yeah,
that
there are
would
a
be
lot of things
amazing.
going on in
Absolutely.
2020.
A
Yes.
lot of things going on.
Yeah, because you know, basically, we often see a lot of people in the cooking industry or the culinary art, like for food, like, but we don't see a lot, you know, for desserts.
Right.
and cakes and cookies and
Right.
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want someone to mess up your cakes, call me. I'd be more than happy to do that. It'd take me a second, trust me. But you guys are really amazing. So before I continue with you guys, the last 10 minutes of our show, I just wanted once again to thank our audience because, again, just like our guests, they are a major part of our success here at A Spot of Hope. Thank you for chiming in always. Thanks to all of the sponsors of What's Up Media Network, Sling Arabic TV, over 130 Arabic channels. If you want to get a free membership for a whole week, you guys, all we got to do is just get in touch with one of the What's Up Media Network staff. Also, big shout out to our A Spot of Hope sponsors. Now, I'm not going to forget anybody. We've got Lemon Express, Tahamas Princess Bakery, Mango's Dearborn, and Ali Sharara Century 21. Thank you all so very much for supporting us to move forward and to spread and shed the light on such amazing and motivational stories and individuals, because these stories would not be amazing if there were not to be an amazing people behind them. Iversons, what's next? So next year you've got the 100-year anniversary.
Yeah.
The rebranding is done or is in the
Is in the
making.
making.
You've got, hopefully you guys are gonna create a class. Yeah, I'm imposing that on you guys.
We're actually going wholesale too, so we'll
Yes.
find our stuff in some of the markets right
Yes.
now. We are actually getting the product in 2 markets. The
Sure.
cupcakes are huge. The cupcake, someone sees a cupcake, it takes them back
Yeah.
to a memory,
Yes.
so it's a treat when some people don't or can't come out to Dearborn. So we're working on that also.
So does that mean like opening like a different branches, or at least like spreading your products in different
Yes.
places?
Different markets, yep.
Okay, so
markets,
so products wise,
Product-wise,
Yes.
not
yes.
necessarily like
Another
like
location, if we can split each other in half, it's
Oh,
hard.
boy, yeah, we're so, yeah. We'd need like 10 of us.
Yeah,
Each.
well, 10 with the same dedication
Yeah,
though, and
with the same dedication.
same,
It's
same
tough.
passion.
Remember, we got to go home and we have,
Right,
there's a
families,
family at
yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a family.
What time you guys open? I know that you guys open at 10 a.m., but when?
We open at
when,
9.
When,
Open at
9 a.m.
9.
okay, so you open for the public at 9,
Yes.
Yes.
and then
So
you
we're there
guys be there
early.
by what, 7?
7,
between
8,
6 and 7 we're
6,
there.
7, 8, yes.
I see.
Rick gets there at like
Yeah.
5:30, 6, yeah.
5:30. Okay, wow, that's yeah.
The baker is there
Yes.
very early in the morning, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you guys close at 5.
Yes.
That's a good thing about it, by the way. It's also like like a regular job
Yeah.
kind of thing.
We
Like
do
from,
get a lot of people that say, can you just stay open an hour later?
I was happy for Ramadan, by the way.
Yes.
They guys extended that to like 8.
Yeah.
Oh, my
7?
goodness. I don't think we,
Ramadan was so busy.
crazy busy.
Yeah, I know.
And we have to
Mashallah.
say, I knew that I wanted to come in and thank Khalud Dabaja.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to thank her because
Yeah.
she really.
Shout out to her as well.
Shout out to
Yes,
Khalud
she is
Dabaja.
amazing.
She is an amazing woman. She's so supportive. She's so supportive of, anyone trying to start a business. And Khalud would just reach out of the blue. Hey, come and do you? And so she did open up her Big Beast to us numerous times during Ramadan for those midnight suhoor. And it just, we've had a lot of good people reach
Sure.
out to us. And
Absolutely.
that's the thing about, moving back here. I don't think I would have that anywhere else but this community. The
Yes.
Good
amount of
support.
support
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that you receive from the community is just untouchable anywhere that you go. But someone like Khalud, someone like Ali, just
Yes.
these, even Emo, but
Sure.
they're all so supportive. They're
Yes.
very, very supportive. And I don't think we really would. Like our Ramadan was so incredibly busy, and a lot of it did have to do with Khalud. So
That's awesome.
shout out to her.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the best thing, or maybe one of the best things about our community. Of course,
Yes.
besides all the successful people, all the great educated people, all the stuff that we have accomplished for the past, 20, 30 years, but especially the past 10, 15 years, we do have a sense of family, and we never
Yes.
fail to support one another, in whatever the case is. And we really hope and pray that this is going to stay the case, and it's going to even get better and better every day, because
Yeah.
it's much needed nowadays.
It is.
As we say, united we stand, divided we fall.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
yeah. So as we approach the last 5 minutes of the show, I wanted to ask you about a final remark, Patty, and again, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Of
Well,
course. What would be like a last comment? Are you still nervous, by the way?
no, I'm not nervous. I think the final message that I would like to share is that in anything you do and you wake up, you have to have a why to what you're
Yes.
doing. And you have to find your purpose. And sometimes it's that challenge, it's that of finding what your purpose is, because that gives you the drive to like go on with your day. And sometimes it takes someone to fall really hard to figure things out, which is okay.
To wake
It's
up.
just it's okay to fall. Most of the people in my life have fallen, you know.
We fall daily.
You know, but it's what you do. It's, you know, get back up, get on your feet, find the right support, and find what you love and do it. You know, you can change your career, you can change your job, you can change your relationships, but make sure it's healthy and make sure it's something that you love doing.
Absolutely.
And that's the message to everyone.
Anything else you'd like to add, or that I didn't ask you about, or?
I think everything is great.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just very honored to be part of your
Of
program
course.
right now.
Well, it's honors all ours. So thank you for coming. Amy, what about you? Final word or remark?
I just, as many times as you fall, I mean, I feel like I fall daily, but we always get back up. And
Sure.
my message is to you're not alone here. We have, I always say, find your tribe. Find your tribe. They're out there. If you don't find them, believe me, they're going to find you. I never would have thought that Patty and I would have been business partners.
Sure.
You know, but just find your tribe and find those supportive people. They're out there. They truly are out there. And as many times as you do fall, get back up. Just get back up. You know, God has a plan. There's always a plan.
Sure. And
Yeah.
always know that the better day, and
There's a better day.
if one door closes, as we say, always another one
door
will open.
opens.
How you guys can get a hold of you guys? Of course, Iverson's phone number, if you guys want to share that, or
The phone
just-
number, 313-563-5161. We're there Tuesday through Saturday.
Yeah.
And
And the best way to order a cake is not
Call or
through
come
Instagram
in.
or through or through any of our pages. It's email us at iversonsbakery@yahoo.com or call the bakery, because we do get so many messages through
Or
our
come in.
social media.
Or come in.
Or
We'd
just
love to
come
see
in,
you.
and it's so hard for us. I mean, there are days we don't even go. I don't even think I went on today, and you know, I'll go on later at night, and there'll be like so many missed messages. Just come in, call us, or come in.
Sure.
We're no longer. I think it's because we were working from home, and people used to reach us. I still get text messages.
Sure.
People used to call us on our phone, but it's a professional business bakery now.
Yes.
Call us. We're always there, and you know, that's it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we wish you nothing but the best of the best, and thank you for
you.
bringing us some of your delicious
Yes, yeah.
products as well. I mean, appreciate it so much.
Absolutely.
We wish you nothing but more success. Please note that if we can be of any assistance here at What's Up Media Network, we are more than happy to push your message forward, and always. We wish you guys, again, nothing but more prosperity and strength. Thank you for
Thank you.
being with us.
Thank
Appreciate your
you.
stories. Giving us
Thank
such a
you.
motivation. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the final, minute of our show for this evening. We had such amazing news, an amazing guest, an amazing story today. The news is that they are the official partner, the official owner of the Iverson's Bakery, and they do resemble strength, overcoming so many medical life challenges. Yet look at them where they are. I mean, so many people reach to a state of despair at this time of their life, but in Amy's and Patty's case, they decided that it's going to be the beginning of such staggering success, and it is staggering success. So thank you all for watching us. Big thanks to What's Up Media Network, all the sponsors, Ling Arabic TV, over 130 Arabic channels, BM Sports. Please get in touch with What's Up Media Network for a free membership for a whole week. And also a big shout out to our Spot of Hope sponsors, Mango's Dearborn, Princess Bakery, Limo Express, Ali Shalala, Sunshine One, and then Tahamas. Thank you all so very much. Thanks to our audience once again. Thank you for accompanying us every single Tuesday. We will be with you guys next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. with our one and only Dr. Yusuf Musallam, the new superintendent of Crestwood Public Schools. Thank you so much, everybody, and good night.